All right, guys, good morning. It's still morning here in Pennsylvania. I'm going to leave my door shut today in the shed because the wind, we still have a lot of wind left over from Winter Storm Riley that blew through here. Everything's pretty well back to normal. I got some downed trees in the fields to take care of, so we'll get to that as soon as it's not muddy. It's above freezing. Everything's mud. There's a lot of we got a lot of rain before the storm even came, so we still have water and mud everywhere. So today it's a little dark with the door closed. I'm going to keep the door shut, keep the wind down. I left you guys in suspense for probably 2 weeks when I was going to buy that, maybe thinking about buying that Massey Ferguson combine. That didn't pan out. I left you guys in suspense for about a week for this $395. That did pan out. Now, for those of you guys that watch all my other videos, you knew I had a piece of equipment that I was planning on getting for the farm here, and I was hoping my hay would sell because that's how I planned on paying for it. It's not a giant piece of equipment. It's nothing major, but it is new, and it's the first piece of equipment that I ever bought that was new that I owned. If you don't count a chainsaw that I bought when I was about 20, and if you don't count a weed whacker that I bought new when I was about 21, going back to my 20s, I have never bought or owned anything brand new. So this is a first. I'll show you what it is here in a second, and I'll let you know why I bought new and a couple other of my thoughts. If you guys are starting a farm or making hay or stuff like that, I can offer some pointers with buying a new piece of equipment here. So let's get into it. All right, well, here it is. Just got it home yesterday. As you can see, it's in a lot of different pieces here. You guys will recognize this as a 2-star tedder. I did buy a brand new 2-star tedder for the farm here. You remember some of my videos way back over the summer. I have that Peckway 710 fluffer tedder that I was using. I do like it because for first cutting it was great. For first cutting when it was real thick, it did a real nice job of kicking and fluffing the hay up to dry. Real nice tedder. I like how heavy duty it is. It has big tires on it, so if you're dropping to a groundhog hole, it's a little bit tougher, I think, than something like this. There are two things that I found wrong with that style of tedder that I ran into this summer that made me want to go to a tedder of this style. If it gets rained on, and this year I had one field that did get rained on because of the crazy weather we had, with that fluffer tedder, you can't move the hay anywhere in the field. It's going to basically fluff up and stay right where it is, and all that moisture underneath the hay, it's going to stay there. The sun never gets to it, even though if you I tedded it 3-4 times, and you just can't move it anywhere in the field. So the hay just sits there, it stays wet, and what I ended up doing was raking it first, raking it off to the side, and then going through with that fluffer tedder to try to get it dry and get underneath dry so the sun could get to the ground. So that was one issue that I ran into early on that I didn't really care for it that much. The other thing I didn't like was for second cutting. It was a lot thinner. My second cut stand was a lot thinner, and the fluffer tedder would not fluff that finer second cut hay, and it didn't move it very much. And basically, no matter which way I adjusted or set the pitch on the teeth or the jack, or the tongue I should say, no matter which way I set it, I could not get it to fluff that fine second cut hay. So I couldn't move it. So it took a little bit longer to dry down. So what I did was I had no intention of buying brand new as far as a tedder. I'm old school when it comes to looking for used, looking for something at a good deal, a good price. That's just not how this purchase panned out. I've been watching the used market for probably since July, looking for a used tedder, and I haven't had any luck finding one that's not all banged up, bent up, damaged, well used. These aren't very heavy duty to start with, and if somebody is running them or abusing them, they don't stand up to a lot of abuse. You have to really be a good operator to make these tedders last. So I like to hope I'm a good operator. We'll see how it works out here. So first of all, I'll answer some questions that you guys might be having right now, some of the common things that might come up about buying a new 2-star tedder. Some people might ask, why didn't I buy a 4-star tedder? I have 2 reasons why I didn't buy a 4-star tedder. Reason number 1, I had to order this from my dealer. This wasn't something they had in stock. I had to put in an order, and it took a little while till it got here. And when I ordered it, I had no hay customers, and none of my hay was selling. I had no phone calls for hay, and my plan was to spray half of my hay fields dead and plant corn, just because I have a buyer for the corn. So that really flipped and changed around. I really have been moving hay now. So I'm probably gonna try to keep a little bit more hay than I had wanted to. So that was one thing. I already had it ordered, and I was only planning to have half of what I have now, so I didn't need a big tedder. The other thing is the price. The price difference between a 2-star and a 4-star in this model and most models. I could have bought 3 of these for the price of a 4-star. Now granted, a 4-star is a little bit heavier duty. You have the hydraulic wings to lift it up and down. You have it's a little bit heavier tedder, plus you get done faster. Well, I'm not worried about getting done faster, just because of how I do things here. I no-till, so I have no tillage. So in the spring, I'm not putting hours on chiseling, discing, harrowing, rolling, you name it. I don't put hours on my equipment with tillage. Second reason, I have somebody custom no-till with a pretty fancy rig, something that I would never be able to afford on my own, and would never be able to do as good a job as the people that do my planting for me. It's state-of-the-art, it's modern technology, it's auto steer, it's variable rate population. It's for me to buy something like that, I could never, if I was a conventional farmer and had tillage equipment and would be buying a conventional planter, I could not do as good of a job as those guys do for what they charge me. So I have no tillage, no planting. I'm spraying the majority of the time. I do all my own spraying. So when it comes to field work here on the farm, other than spraying, top dressing corn, my field work is limited to making hay. So you'll see, I'm not in a huge rush or a huge hurry to have to get out, and it's not like I'm covering thousands of acres and have to get done. This is fine for what I have. I have no problems having to do twice as much. I want to be out in the field. I want to run my equipment. I enjoy making hay. I do like making hay. So yeah, 4-star would be nice, but 3 times the cost of this, okay? So I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe in the future, if I get more hay acres, yeah, I'll buy a 4-star. But for now, for where we're at, this will be fine. And if it's an emergency, I still have that fluffer tedder. I can put somebody else on the fluffer tedder, and we can run the 2 of them. Who knows, whatever. So long story, it's a long way to say I bought a 2-star because that's what I had decided on. So I'll get into why it's all in pieces here, and maybe give you guys some tips as to buying something from a dealer. All right, so you'll remember I think it was my buying equipment from a dealership video, I said I'm kind of half loyal to some dealers, but not really. Some guys, I understand, they have their one dealer that they are loyal to and will stick with, and will just go with that one dealer. They won't shop around. I'm not like that. When I was pricing a new 2-star tedder here, I got 3 different prices from 3 different dealers. I won't name the dealers. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus or to recommend anybody or put anybody down. I'll just say dealer number 3. The dealer number, dealer number 1, let's make it easy. I went to dealer number 1. They had a Rossi 2-star tedder, all assembled, and they wanted almost $2,900 for this tedder. For a Rossi 2-star, $2,900. All right, so that's a little pricey for a 2-star tedder, especially a Rossi. So I got the price, I got the estimate, and I had to bring it home. So I had to do the hauling at that price. Dealer number 2. I went to the next dealer. They had the same exact model. I did check the model number. Same model, same tedder, same year, assembled, and I would have to pick up and bring home. That one was $23.50. So you see the price difference from dealer number 1 to dealer number 2. Same tedder, 2 different dealer lots. You just see the markup there. You had a pretty significant price difference between the 2 dealers, all right? So dealer number 3, which is, we'll say this is dealer number 3. I priced the tedder and assembled, yes, it would be $23.50. But if I order it unassembled and pick up the pieces, take it home, put it together myself, it was significantly less than dealer number 1 or 2. So I don't know if all dealers will do it that way. I don't know if dealers can do it that way. I have no idea. This is what this dealer did. Like I say, I'm not going to say who it was. Basically, if you buy it unassembled, you get to save yourself between $200 and $300. And you don't need to be a mechanic to put this together either. Like I say, I used to do this kind of stuff for a living. It's not going to be major to put this together. It'll probably take a couple hours, maybe. There is a book that came with it, but it's not an instruction assembly manual. It's just the operator manual, but that'll be good enough for us to get this together. So yeah, save money, put it together yourself, set it up yourself. You can definitely save some money that way. So what it is an H&S brand, and this is the first piece of H&S equipment that I have bought or dealt with as far as using. I've never owned anything H&S. I can't say I ever ran it on the farms I've worked on, so I don't know a whole lot about H&S. I know they have a pretty good line of equipment, so I went with an H&S, and it is a G2LP model. You see it has the 2, well, you have your center gearbox here. Now that has oil in it. And then out here on the ends, you have these, where these rotors are here, they're grease fittings. I did look at the parts breakdown in the manual. There is almost like a differential type of gear in here that spins each side around. And there are grease zerks on top that we'll have to grease. There should be oil in it, but we're going to double check just to make sure. That's part of setting it up, making sure all the oil's in it. We want to make sure there's no leaks. We want to make sure there's no oil leaking, because then that would be the, I think it would be the dealer's responsibility if we have leaks. So I'm going to do an assembly video of putting this together. It's not going to be this video. I had other things I wanted to cover in this video, but I'll do a step-by-step assembly of putting this tedder together. You see I have it on the sawhorses. Probably where I'm going to start, I'm going to put the wheels on first and the hitch. That way we can set it on the floor here and start putting some other pieces on. So I hope this video helped. I was kind of trying to make it as far as some tips and tricks of the trade. Talk to your dealer, see what they're willing to do to help save you some money. Like I say, this is a first for me, buying a brand new tedder, and the used market in my area hasn't been very good, and I don't want to buy something that's going to fly apart. And for what I paid for this, some of the used prices were almost what you could get a new one for. I mean, people were really trying to get top dollar out of their 2-star tedders, and they weren't in that good a shape, and it was only $100 or $200 off what a brand new one was. So we're starting fresh here. We have a brand new one. We're going to try to take care of it, try to watch out for groundhog holes, try not to bend anything up. They aren't heavy duty. They're not, you don't want to go out raking tedding firewood with them, or tree limbs. So we'll see how it does. I'm going to give an honest review, an honest opinion once hay season starts. If I don't like it, I'll come right out and say it. If I find any weak points, I'll point it out. This is a very similar tedder design to the Rossi tedders. These are probably, I can't say for sure, I don't want to say it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these are made in the same place. In fact, I don't even know where this one's made. Does it have a, I think it's France or Italy that the Rossi, I'm not sure. I've never dealt with Rossi either, so I can't say one way or the other. Yeah, I don't see where there's a sticker that has where it's made, but we'll look into that. So, all right, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. You know where I'm coming from as far as what I'm doing here. If I had 500-600 acres of hay, yeah, I'd probably go for 4 or 6 star tedder, but it's just not economical right now. Like I say, I could have bought 3 of these for the price of a 4 star. So we got to watch our money on a small scale. We got to watch our money, and we got to try to make the best decisions we can with what we have to work with. And I think a 2 star here will be plenty for me. And basically, I'm glad my hay sold, because my hay sales have paid for this tedder. So we're going to get it together here, and I'll take you guys along maybe tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.